activity-based metrics, I hate. Like, that is why someone has a base salary. That is the expectation we have of you to do those activities. And if you're a smart seller, you know those activities will produce sales, you know? So I'm designing comp plans for the end result. I'm designing comp plans that encourage those activities outside of the comp plan. And so when I see components built in like pipeline or I mean, I guess SDRs, let's take SDRs out of the equation. That's all activity-based
Yeah.
metrics. But even, I don't know, like CSMs, like customer score, where I'm just like, it has nothing to do with an end result or a completed sale. I don't ever build those into my plans. I despise decelerators. I think they're really demotivating. And I think best practices is moving towards not including decelerators. I think it's pretty rare now, but you have some old school sales comp people who really, really like them. And finance really likes a decelerator as well. They're trying to protect for underperformers, which I understand, but that goes back to our conversation about performance management. Let's manage those underperformers outside of the sales compensation plan and focus on building plans for our performers and top performers. So, yeah, I hate decelerators. You'll never see a decelerator in mine.
I think we're aligned on the sales activity, but I have a slightly different take. Obviously, for us, we kind of made a bet and an investment in acquiring a sales activity and sales process company where to me, I think the activity-based incentives is very, I agree with everything you said, but that's because we don't have the data or most companies don't have the data to actually do it right. And back to the kind of consumption base, if you don't do it right, it's a disaster. Like, yeah, I'm measuring you on something with the right data. It's just you're either gonna game it or it's not gonna produce the right results. Very
That's where I have an issue, and a lot of the data around activity-based metrics have the potential for that to happen. So that's where the risk is, and that's why I really don't like using it. But I agree, if the data is strong and you feel confident in that, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't think you compensate on activity. Like my perspective on this is like, I'm gonna pay you your commission rate on a deal, but if you do these 5 steps that are really important to the customer, you should make more than the rep that doesn't do it, but gets the same deal across the line.
I see. Yep.
And so to me, I'm like, but it's almost impossible to actually track that today in the systems, which is okay. So then the moment you include activity, like pipeline build, very risky. What is good pipeline? How do like until we're so confident in a system like managed way, what that looks like, it's yeah, again, outside of SDR role. And by the way, that's a whole other topic we could spend like hours on of like what happens to sales comp when you factor in AI for SDRs.